Okay, hello.
Player.
Hey, hello YouTube players. Empathy is defined as the understanding, awareness, and vicarious experience of another person's feelings and thoughts. So basically, it means you, as a designer, you need this, and a great deal of foresight to try and imagine what the client's brief. For example, my mother-in-law asked, "Can you make me a box?" That was some 4 years ago now, and if and when I get around to doing it, I'll be hoping that it's still the right type of box that she needs. At least for now, I have the options of using a parametric dimensioning to approach the current box design dynamically. Well, kind of. That is, you can see this model fails just here. It fails because I've imported the file from FreeCAD 0.21.2 into Link Stage 3. It's not that big a deal to fix the errors in this model so it runs well in Link Stage 3. If I'd modeled the box in this version, I wouldn't have the compatibility issues. But then there's a chance I may not have the model at all down the track, as the developer of Link Stage 3 states that he accepts no responsibility for compatibility losses through the ecosystem of FreeCAD. So why then? Well, currently it's a lot faster than FreeCAD, 300% faster. The question I have is that the new version of FreeCAD, the commercial version, on the cell faster? Or will it open mainstream files without errors? Whatever I say here and now will probably be outdated by the next release, so the answer to all the questions is yes, no, maybe. Currently there isn't a golden bullet, and the segregation is a little frightening. A commercial development team will work together on a common goal. Open source developers may or may not have a common goal and live in a FOSS ethos, free. This concept was so alien to me not so long ago. Society needs to give tax breaks to open source projects and induce team building, one way or another. Imagine if there was an army available to solve a particular problem at a moment's notice. I guess there's no need, eh? The governments of the world have got it all sorted, all under control, and there's no real problems to speak of. So currently, without a combined, for lack of better words, FreeCAD Mojo. Seriously, that should be the name and icon of FreeCAD version 1. The Mojo. Giving FreeCAD the life, the dream, and its destiny. They say death and taxes are the only two certainties in life. In between, however, there are a lot of questions and answers. And no matter which side of the ping pong table you're playing, the only fact that can be taken away from the information thus far is that the FreeCAD learning curve has been multiplied by 3 or more. Each of these iterations of FreeCAD will have benefits to certain peoples. And which one's right for you? Well, I don't have the answer for that. I used to believe that the mainstream branch would give me certainty for my growing skills. But I think my skills, well, at least my desire for dynamic presentation has outgrown the abilities of the mainstream branch. As you can see, Link Stage 3 has some serious rendering abilities. My new AI seems to work well across these FreeCADs. AI, what's your name?
My name is Zed.
Hi Zed. We're going to try and figure out which version of FreeCAD is best. There's like 3 different versions of FreeCAD. I'm listening. 3 different versions of FreeCAD at the moment.
What's so funny, Edwards?
Okay. I was wrong. You're a little buggy. Zed, try and focus. You were doing so well earlier. Remember, we were experimenting with FreeCAD 0.21 and 0.22, Link Stage 3 and the on-the-cell versions?
And we're looking for one of you. Just one.
That's it, Zed. Welcome back. We've got a bit to do, a handful of programs to evaluate.
What will follow is a series of simple tests for motor skills, concentration, stamina.
It certainly feels like that. But there's a heap of really good training channels out there already. We just need to help the viewer to decide which version of FreeCAD is right for them, okay?
Okay, let's get going.
Well, I was expecting you to tell us how to choose. That's a big responsibility, you know. What if the viewer puts trust in me, I'm wrong, and all hell breaks loose? We need to have some sort of plan.
What will follow is a series of simple tests for motor skills, concentration, stamina.
Well now, I'm not sure if you're still buggy or just being a smartass.
You're all here because you're the best of the best.
Zed, please. A lot of people are confused.
Marines, Air Force, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, NYPD.
Well, I was thinking engineers, drafters, builders, makers, carpenters, and tradespeople alike.
And we're looking for one of you. Just one.
Oh my god. AI is so buggy in the 21st century.
What's so funny, Edwards?
For fuck's sake, Zed, my name is not Edwards. I'm going to have to pull the pin on this adventure without a functioning AI. Choosing one of these FreeCAD versions is like asking a surfer which wave is best. I've already shown that a relatively simple box project fails if it's imported from the main branch of FreeCAD into either of the satellite branches, and see if there's any errors. Report said errors to the developers via the forum. Let's push on with a simple project. I might be able to show you something and make it coming this far worth it. As I'm an advocate for top-down design, I'll show you a quick way to get a dynamic box opening and closing. But let's throw in a curveball. Let's make it the other type of box. The first thing I always do is to create a spreadsheet and timer. These two functions will give us top-down animation capabilities. Then create a body and sketch in the part design workbench. Normally I'd let the AI narrate through the sketch, but as Zed is a little buggy, we might be sending him back to the shop, if you know what I mean.
Son?
They're a lot smarter than they look, these bloody AIs. Trying new ways. Anyway, smart is what smart does, and as you can see, I purposely attached part of the sketch to the x-axis, and this will enable easy rotation of the lid later on. Let's pad the lower half of this box. Then it's easy to duplicate the body and reverse the pad to create the lid. In the lid properties, we will assign the formula allowing the handle to dynamically open and close the box. In my opinion, using datum plane and sketch combinations increases the model stability. However, in this case, we need to put features that will travel with the lid, such as shape string. I highly recommend this way, and we can edit the box's dimension and the shape string will stay fluid. The shape string needs to be located in the body, on the tree, and its placement is relative to the draft snap. To get the motion of the shape string, we need to map it to a dynamic face. And as I've said, a datum plane is really the most stable option. Once we've clicked into the shape strings map mode, it's just a matter of rotating and adjusting the X and Y location for our text placement. Never forget to save regularly. All iterations of FreeCAD have one thing in common. They are development software, which may crash. Okay, they will crash, it's just a matter of time. I've applied a thickness to each of the bodies, and as you can see, it made no difference to the face count, which would have destroyed our shape string mapping if we'd used it in the generic branch. I've applied a thickness to each of the bodies, and as you can see, it made no difference to the face count. Would have destroyed our shape string mapping if we have used the top of the lid instead of the datum plane.
May I ask why you felt little Tiffany deserved to die?